Hello, everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of Mo on the Mic. We're excited to launch this journey with you. Let's get going. And we're your hosts. I'm Jade McLeod, a creative director from the west coast of New Zealand.
And I'm Toyah. I'm a photographer and I just studied live event management at university from London, England.
So, since it's our first episode, we thought that we'd introduce ourselves so that you know the voices behind the cows that you see all the time. So, we've got some get to know you questions to get started today. So, my first question is, what song are you currently obsessed with right now?
Oh, okay. So given that Spotify Wrapped has just come out and everyone's reviewing their year, um, Evolve by 5 Seconds of Summer is my most played song of the year. Bear in mind that album just came out like a month ago. I can't
Yeah,
stop.
I get what you mean though, because I was really concerned when I realized that Not Okay is not only my Spotify Wrapped top song, but according to Stats FM, it's my top song actually over my entire lifetime. And when I stop and think about how many times I had to play that in order for that to happen, I was like, yoicks, considering it's been out how long, and I've apparently already played it 100 times, like literally 100 times. Did you ever see them in concert? What was the first concert you saw?
I did see them live in concert. I saw them for the first time in 2013 when they opened for One Direction. I love
Jealous.
that little flex. And I'm going to go see them again next year a bunch. I've seen them, counting next year's shows, I would have seen them like 33 times. But my first ever concert was McFly when I was like 9 or 10 years old. And I went with my mum. Where have you seen them? Where did you go?
I haven't seen them yet, but I'm actually going to go with my own mum next year. My first concert, major cool point, was actually Elton John. I was raised with a dad who really loves music, um, and so about a week before my 16th birthday, we went, and then I caught the concert bug, and I was like, Mum, I want to go to another concert. And then magically on my actual 16th birthday, I unwrapped my gift and it's tickets to Ed Sheeran, like not even a week later. So back to
Nice,
back,
that's
which was pretty
impressive.
cool. Yeah.
Was he like a bucket list artist for you? Like, was that someone you really wanted to like tick off?
Yes, he's like one of the, if you talk about people who are going to be one of the greats, like that you just look and you're like, when I look back when I'm my dad's age and telling my kids about the greatest artists, I feel like Ed Sheeran is someone who he's such a household name. But also it was a mathematics tour, so it's kind of like the Eras tour of Ed Sheeran because he was singing like all of his songs from, well, all of his greatest hits from all of the different math-related albums. Versus now he's gone into play and he's talked about going into play, pause, rewind. Um, so it was quite good because it was like literally all the songs I've grown up on. And it was also quite nice because I had just moved back to my hometown, and the first song he came out and played was Castle Over the Hill. And there was something about like hearing about being on your way back home as the opening song, and it was literally my first day back in my hometown, and I was just like crying my eyes out. So that'll always be a very special moment for me. Yeah. So on that note, like, what concert do you wish you could go to like sort of experience that similar feeling?
There are two that I was this close to going to and then couldn't for whatever reason. The feeling of falling upwards that Five Sauce did at one night only in London. I was attending another show the same night, so I couldn't be in two places at once. And then the Where We Are World tour that One Direction did, I was this close to going. I had tickets, everything. Five Sauce opened for them again, but the date fell when my GCSEs were starting, so I had to prioritize doing exams. But like, I think I would have loved to have seen Queen.
Yes.
Would have loved to have seen Queen and probably Michael Jackson.
Yeah. The greats.
The greats for
Yes.
sure.
Exactly. So someone who I would have loved to have seen is, I really love the stage persona Ziggy Stardust. Like it's just that
Mhm.
electric feeling, and I never got to go. Um, much to my annoyance and my father's annoyance. But one that I almost got to see, and I'm talking like literally almost got in the car to see Harry Styles. Um, and literally the night before I had packed my bag, we were all going to jump in the car, and I came down with COVID. So obviously these concerts have brought like a lot of comfort to us and brought some amazing moments. So what's like a comfort TV show or movie, just to like talk about a different area of media?
I currently am binge watching Criminal Minds. I have never seen it before. I'm well aware it's like a 20-year-old show, but that's what makes it so exciting for me. I'm on like season 4. The only thing I do know about the show is that I know Spencer Reid goes through it, and I don't know when. And I'm so stressed. I live my life on the edge going, is this it? With Spencer Reid. And it hasn't been yet, and I'm scared.
Yeah, no, I completely
So I'm
get
not sure
that.
how comforting that is. That might not
Yeah,
be very comforting at all. It's quite stressful, actually.
well, my comfort show is also more of a classic and quite stressful, and I have watched every episode of Grey's Anatomy, which is as old as I am, so it's been going a while.
Yeah.
Um, and they have killed off every one of my favorite characters, and now my favorite character is pregnant with twins that they keep threatening that she's going to lose, and they keep threatening that she's going to die or her husband's going to die. Um, and it's very, very stressful. And the other issue is because it's quite well known that almost everyone dies at some point in Grey's Anatomy if you like them. Uh, I have an amazing younger brother who loves to tease me. So one day I'm watching this episode and he runs into my room and he goes, Miranda Bailey dies. And I paused the episode, being like, you did not just spoil that. Because at that point, there's a burning building and the only person missing is Miranda Bailey. But he turns out he literally just Googled the cast list and told me the first like name that he thought sounded like someone who might die. Um, and I spent that entire episode, like you said, on edge, crying my eyes out, thinking that she was gonna die. She wasn't even in the building. Wasn't even in the building.
Oh, how anticlimactic.
I know. But I get what you mean, where like my comfort show is actually like, let me just traumatize myself even more for a second to turn my brain off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. Horrifying. And Pride
Yeah.
and Prejudice, though, that's a nice one. That's a movie I frequently go back
Yes.
to because I just love it. I love love. I think it's so romantic. Oh, I'm just obsessed with it. And I love Keira Knightley. Love her.
Yes. Oh my goodness. She's just so pretty. And she just can do no
Stunning.
wrong. Can do no wrong.
Period. Talking of Pride and Prejudice, that is a book I am rereading currently. I was shocked when I first read it because the chapters are so small.
Mm.
Like it's a classical literature. Everyone loves a good classical literature, but the chapters are like 3 pages and then you're on to your next, which
Yeah.
is baffling because I was expecting with a book like that size and that like classical to be like hefty chapters, but they're not. They're great, and I love the book of it as well. And I need to know what you're reading because I love reading and I need recommendations.
So I'm quite interested in the sense that I prefer things that are written in older English. So Pride and Prejudice is one that I've definitely studied in English. Um, but I find myself reading like the classic Shakespeare's, or there's some writers who sort of write books at the moment, um, that are like romances, but are written in that style. Um, However, actually Romeo and Juliet at the moment. And the reason why is I wanted to cross-reference it for a project. And so I'm like, you know what? I just want to like reread this. Um, I do want to reread a Midsummer, oh my goodness, A Midsummer
Midsummer's Night
Night's
Dream.
Dream. Yeah, I do want to reread that one because the last time I read it, I was a cringy teenager who read an adaptation. It was like written for modern day. Um, but it was really terrible because there were some characters that they just did not do justice. And so I'm like, I need to actually go back and read the proper thing. So that's where I'm at the moment.
Yeah.
Enough of that tangent. of classic literature. So going back to music, do you have a go-to karaoke song?
I do. But it's only recently that I've got into like karaoke. I used to be very shy, very reserved. And then coming into my 20s, I was like, actually, let's bore off. I want to have fun.
Yeah.
Mine is Valerie by Amy Winehouse. That's my go-to. Only really because obviously she's a stunning vocalist, but she sings a lyric about ginger hair and it always gets me loads of attention. And I'm a true Leo and I like the attention.
Fair enough. So what I used to do is because I actually grew up hard of hearing and I was very self-conscious about singing, is I used to get up and do tequila but make everyone clap along. Um, Now what I do is I go because I don't drink, but I go by the assumption that everyone else in the room is drunk and probably won't remember it. So I pick like whatever's trending in that moment and I just get up and I do it as if I'm drunk. Because
Mhm.
for me, it's less about the song, it's more about the performance. Um,
Yes.
so if I was to go today, it would probably be a horrible, horrible rendition of The Fate of Ophelia. Like dance moves and all.
Yeah. You got to do the
And Ophelia's
all of it.
fate would not be great.
Like, let's just change the ending. She is drowned. She is gone. We've just butchered that song.
She is singing Well Drowning, actually, is how it's going to sound.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
I'm binge watching Stranger Things.
Okay, no spoilers because so am I, but I took so long to actually convince mum and dad and my younger brother to watch it. Last night we were up to the point where they were um, running from the Russians, and
Okay.
the scene that really got me is when Steve and I don't know her name, I just know her as Maya Hawke. And the chair fell
Robin.
over. Robin, yeah, Steve and Robin, and the chair falls over, and she's giggling, and Steve's like, what's so funny? Like, or are you crying?
Currently up to date on Stranger Things. Fully up to date. Love that show with everything in me. You're in for a ride. You are in for a ride. You are in for a very emotional journey.
I do know that because unfortunately, I was talking to someone about the show, and I said
Mhm.
last night, I said I'm way, way behind. Please don't spoil anything. And they said, where are you up to? And I said, last night this character died. The name rhymed with another character, and I'm like, thank you for that. Oh, the episode where Blank dies, and I'm like, oh, now I know that they die. But that's the thing is that it's also really hard not to see things on TikTok. Um,
Yeah.
which leading into that, which act- which social media are you the most active on?
All of them. No, I would say TikTok for like doom scrolling.
Yeah,
I will just sit there for hours and just like, wow. Um, but posting, Twitter.
yeah, yeah. I run my
Love
Twitter like
them.
it's my diary, like
Same.
to the point that I've had to
Every thought that I
apologize.
have, it's coming out. It's on the page.
Yeah, to the point that I've had to apologize for like people who are like who have my notifications on. I'm like, I've told you you shouldn't. I'm like, that is a you problem. But TikTok, yes, I'm a major doom scroller. But the thing is that I have curated my For You page to the point. Um, Honestly, to the point of concern, because I'm now at the point where I think about something, open my phone, and it's there. Um,
Hmm.
but the other thing that I do is I save TikToks and I call it like my sad day folder. And it basically started with when well, first there was a video of Harry Styles, and he's like, if you're doing something you love, no one can tell you you're not successful. And I thought, I'm gonna save this for a rainy day when I'm just like not feeling great. And then I came across, I think it was, I was about to say side quest, but I think it was the Days of Super Bloom, where Ashton was talking about the meaning of one of his songs, and then he goes off into this thing about like, you must reach out, you must ask for help. And so I saved that one. Um, so I just sort of like save things, and then like stupid videos as well because I'm like, well, if it's all serious and I'm actually having a bad day, I'm not gonna want that. Um, but I have now curated it to the fact that it's like it's either videos like that or it's just cats falling off things or um because I doom scroll late at night, there's literally a video that I laugh at all the time and it's this guy and he slices a piece of bread and the bread just stays there for a second and then it just falls in very
I
slow
love that
motion.
video. There's a
Yes.
whole account that does that, and I love him so much.
Yeah.
I love it.
The other one is, for context, I work in children's ministry within the church. Um, and for a solid 3 months, I could not get off Wiggles and Elmo for you, like TikTok. Um, but I have to say, I don't know how many people noticed, but the Purple Wiggle was actually a member of Justice Crew who was fairly big in the 2010s. Um, and there's a lot of mums who like thirst over the Purple Wiggle.
I was gonna say, is the purple one the hot one?
He's like
I
he
don't even
leans
know if he's
into it.
hot, but I just know that people call him the hot one. I don't know what he
Oh,
looks like.
oh, he is. So I wasn't necessarily complaining about being on Wiggles TikTok for 3 months. Elmo, however, not great. Speaking about
No.
posting all the time, what emoji is actually the one that you overuse?
In context, the pink heart is like my favorite go-to heart. Out of context, do you know the devil face, but the one that's got like the black
Oh yeah,
that all the time. I'm just like at everything.
I'm
It
just
doesn't
actually gonna
it's
check.
it can be like it can be completely irrelevant to anything in the conversation and I'm just going, hey, and then with that little
Yeah,
emoji.
I'm just actually gonna check because I know that mine is absolutely hilarious. Okay, so mine sort of tells a story. So it's star and okay, it's star and face palm and eye roll and then
Okay.
heart and then the heart hands. However, the thing is, and I don't even know how I'm going to tell you this. I'm just going to have to send this to you. I've made my own stickers because I've got an iPhone.
Right.
Um,
Same.
and rather than trying to find the exact meme, I really love to just do that, followed by that, followed by that, and then that.
All of my stickers are like Joseph Quinn
Yeah.
and I love them. They're oh, you know the sticker I do use a lot? I don't know if you've seen it, but it's used on like TikTok comments a lot.
Oh,
And it's like
yes.
the girl with a gun
Oh, yeah.
over her head and she's like holding her Stanley Cup and she's got a bow in her hair. I love that one so much.
Yes. The
And then
other one,
emojis as well. I've got, wait, hold on, emojis. Where are emojis? Emojis, I've got the nodding because I'm just like
yeah.
all the time. I've got the hand hearts, the pink heart, and then the like devil
Yes, and
face.
the other one, which I'm sending you right now, is have you seen Ginny and Georgia?
No,
Okay,
but
so
I've seen like, yeah, I've seen that.
there's a scene in Ginny and Georgia, and I think it was like Ginny calls one of the friends in Mang a bitch or something.
Mhm.
No, it wasn't. It was so actually I'm not even going to try and tell you which scene it was because I am now in between a few. But like the face where Max or Maxine like absolute like jaw to the floor. And it's my favorite one is like after a good like gossip session,
You're just
someone,
like,
yeah, like I get a text from a friend who's like, you know, I got back with blank or I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and it's just jaw to the floor.
what am I proud of in 2025? I don't know. I really don't know. But not in a way of like, oh, I've done nothing to be proud of. I have done things to be proud of, but like I'm always striving to do more.
Mm,
So it's just like I don't know what I've done already that I'm proud of that either doesn't already stem from something that I really loved and really wanted to do. So I'm proud of just starting it. Or that I'm like, oh, I'm not quite there yet because I know I've still got this thing to do before I'm proud of it. So like I'm just, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I get that because I wrote a letter to myself when I left high school, a graduation letter. And I pulled it out the other day, because I found it in my top drawer. And it's a list of things that I hoped I would achieve by the time I graduated, which had I not done gap year, would have actually been around now. But instead is February. A list of questions to my future self. Um, and I found myself filling it in. And what was really interesting is I said, by now you've changed so much. I just hope that my dreams are still your dreams. And I stopped and thought about it and I was like, well, did I go to film school? No, in fact, that's actually the course I dropped out of for next year was film school, um, which I've now dropped out of twice at this point. Um, it was, do I still love photography? I'm like, well, yes, I do. You know, I don't do it in the same way, but I do. Um, and there was actually a note that I'd written to myself at the end of this. I said, do not forget that this is a dream that you really, really want, but you're terrified of. And that actually happens to be what we're sitting here doing today. So, what I'm really proud of myself for
But
2025 is I did it. I
yeah.
stepped away from everything that is like normal or like the pathway that people expect, and I said, I'm just gonna like jump into this creative thing and ta-da! So I have a long way to
Very full
go,
circle.
but yeah, like I have a long way to go to get to like my full dream that's on that page. Um, but it's like knowing that, hey, I actually took the step, which this was written a good 3 or 4 years ago. Um, and I was telling myself, I know you're scared, but do it anyway. And I did.
Hmm.
So that's what I'd
So
say.
in like 3 to 4 years' time from this point,
Yeah.
hopefully you'll be like exactly where you actually imagined it being.
Yeah. And it's also that thing of like, oh, you poor innocent 16-year-old, like you thought you had to be exactly where you wanted by the time you were 20. And you don't. Like, that's something that I think is really important to tell a lot of young creatives, and something that I do want to portray with this podcast is you don't have to do it on a set timeline. In fact, as a creative, the worst thing you can do is try and push yourself to a set timeline because that's not how this happens. So, yeah.
Nope.
And on that sort of topic, of looking back and reflecting on things, was this what you wanted to do as a kid, or like, I, what did you want to be when you were a kid?
Um, I genuinely, wholeheartedly wanted to be a princess. This isn't what I wanted to do as a kid. Not exactly anyway. I kind of already like always had a thing for photography because like, if you look back at my favorite toys from when I was a toddler, it was like a toy camera. I studied photography in secondary school and in college. And then obviously in university I did live event management, so I like niched it into concert photography and live music. Um, but I never really took it seriously until like 6 years ago when I was like, oh, maybe that's something I could do. And then I bought a camera and now I do it,
Yeah,
which is now, as of 6 years ago, absolutely, this is where I wanted to be. This is what I love doing. This is what I have always wanted to do for that period.
mm,
But if you'd have asked me as like a child, what's your dream job? I wouldn't have said concert photographer because I wouldn't have really known. I'd have been like, I want to be a princess.
yeah,
Or I had a phase of wanting to be a vet, and then I remembered that they like put down animals, and then I was like,
no,
never mind.
yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm very similar in the sense that, um, the first Christmas gift that people talk about me being really obsessed with was a little toy camera, which it fully worked. Like, I still have the photos from that. I actually made a reel on my photography account. I'm like, from my first ever photo to my most recent. And at that point, my first ever photo was a blurry one of Granddad, which was literally taken on a little toy camera. And my most recent one at that point was my mother's graduation. She did her master's. And that was on a film camera. But literally, my most memorable gifts over the years have been different forms of cameras. And then in high school, when we had career day, I used to like, because we'd go around all the tables and I'd do that. But I would specifically ask them about the art programs. And then when we had to do subject selection, we had to select a subject and say what career it led to. Um, I don't think that was something that you had to do at every school, but it's what our school did. And I always used to like cross everything out because like math didn't lead to photography or videography, which is what I was wanting to do. Science didn't, so I'd scribble it out and I'd be like, does not lead to the right career. Give me photography, give me the arts. Um, I was quite a problem child, as I'm sure you can tell very easily. I'm sure none of my teachers are watching, but if they are, I am so sorry for everything I put you through. Um, but yeah, I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do, but what I did know is I was a loud theatre kid. I loved music, couldn't really sing or play it well, but I loved it. Yeah. Um, so speaking about music, if you could only listen to one artist for a full month, just that artist, who would it be?
I mean, go to, I've got three easy ones, four easy ones. In no particular order, Taylor Swift, because her discography is so big
Yeah,
that you would never get bored. Um, Don Broco, love them. Rep, love them. Love Don Broco so much. And I have done that before. I have listened to Don Broco and no one else for months at a time.
yeah,
5 Seconds of Summer, always. That is also something I frequently do.
yeah,
And Joe, as in like DJO, Joe Geary, love. Am obsessed with him. Those four would be like my go-tos if you took every artist off of the face of the earth and said, here's one of these four, I'd go, cool. I like that. I like that. I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
yeah. I'm very similar. My first thought was, okay, 5 Seconds of Summer, pun intended, evolve with every era, every era. But my thing, I would be asking whoever's locked me in that room. That includes the solo albums, right? And that would be my workaround of like, you've got every album that sounds different, but you've also got a bigger catalog. Pretty sure I can't break rules like that, but I'd try. Again, like you said, Taylor Swift has so much in her catalog that you wouldn't be bored because it's just a month. Like, but even for a full year, I feel like if you listen to one album for just 1 month and then move on, like I mean, she's got 13 albums. You've got more albums than you've got years, so months. So you won't be bored. More albums than you've got years. You shall not live more than 13 years. Um, but I also quite like some of the stuff my dad listened to, so I could probably do a full month of just Elton John or a full month of just Queen's greatest hits. In fact, I did do that at one point. Um, yeah. Speaking of Taylor Swift, what's a song that always makes you cry and a song that always makes you dance? And are they the same song?
They're not, and my go-tos, I don't think would be Taylor Swift songs, although You're Losing Me is a hard hitter that if you like, and So Long London, if you go, what's the saddest Taylor Swift songs? I'm going to present them to you.
Yeah,
That that is those two songs. They So Long London gets me this close to crying nearly every time, so that's like a good an honorable mention. Um, a song that makes me cry every time is Five Sauces Outer Space, to the
yeah,
point where I will skip it. I love that song so much. I don't want anyone to come for me. I love that song so much, but it I hear the first note and I go, that's enough. Next. Songs that make me dance though. Oh, I don't know. I can get a groove onto anything. I can be like shaking my ass to So Long London. Like it's fine. Depends on my mental state of the day.
yeah. For me, I'm now trying to think of the words, but you know that I think it's Bigger Than the Whole Sky, that Taylor Swift song.
Yeah.
That one really gets me. Um, I'm just like, am I mentally strong enough for that today? No. Um, then I I find a lot of the solo work of 5 Seconds of Summer are really good for crying. Mum by Luke, that'll always get me. Um, Ashton's. California Holds Your Breath. Ah, crying. Um, and then when it comes to Order Chaos Order and Side Quest, I find that most of those songs are crying songs. But with Side Quest, it's you're crying and dancing. Like
Mm.
the lyrically devastating, sonically amazing. Um, Not to say that any of the other albums aren't sonically amazing. They just
Sure.
every album has a time that it feels like it needs to be played, and for Order Chaos Order, it's early in the morning while crying. For Side Quest, it's more like hell yeah, rave. Um, but in terms about dancing, like hardcore dancing, I love a bit better. Bring out the flares, dance your heart out, sing probably terribly, but it's worth it. So that would be my
ABBA's a good
answer.
one.
Yes.
ABBA is a good one to dance to.
Oh yeah, I want a Mamma Mia summer. Give it to me right now. It's like, put me on an island. Give me, give me the wardrobe of Sophie. Maybe even young Donna. In fact, I think I lean more towards young Donna. Um, that's what I want. That's it's not my only goal in life, but it's certainly up there. So, so speaking of something you could talk about for hours, I could talk about the ABBA soundtrack for hours. What about you?
Um, I don't know. I used to get told I could talk for England, which isn't a great thing. I used to be really chatty when I was younger. I'm trying to be like a lot more intentional with my words the older I get. Um,
Mm,
so I don't know. But if you set me off on like anything that I'm currently like fixated on, so at the moment, like I will talk for hours on end about Stranger Things season 5. I won't spoil anything
yeah.
because that's like hot right now, and me and all of my friends are watching it. So it's like, let's talk about it. Let's talk about this like shared interest that we have.
Mm,
Um, or like same with artists. Like if you were to mention one of my favorite artists to me, I'd go, word vomit, here you go, here's loads of information.
yeah, exactly. And that's kind of why I've turned that into articles. Um, like I watched the latest Ed Sheeran one shot, and it was so good that it was like, here's an extra bonus thing. Um, I've been quite into hair and makeup, so we've just done an article that went live as of the day of recording. Um, and I couldn't stop there, so we've got the stage outfits one, which goes live tomorrow. I then ended up down a rabbit hole of performances, and so it was who's around who I can just like word vomit about the greatest live moments ever. I'm someone who also gets quite hyper fixated on different things, and it's an essay. Either it's going out as an article or it's going out to my friends in a video call. So yeah,
I mean, off the back of like Stranger Things and favorite artists and stuff, like one of my favorite things to do is get tattoos. I am covered in tattoos. So if you talk to me and go like, "Do you have any plans for a new tattoo?" Yeah, bet. I'm like scrolling on my phone, like, "Hey, look at all of these things. Look at
yeah,
all these images I have that I want to get tattooed." So like, yeah, I could also then just yap your ear off about the tattoos that I want and where I want them and who I want to do them, whatever.
yeah. So what if you were to get one today? What would it be?
I'm quite impulsive sometimes with my tattoos. I don't know off the top of my head what I would get done today. I have been toying with the idea of Five Sauce's song Evolve and getting either the word evolve on the back of my neck or chill baby chill on the back of my neck. But that I'm aware of how impulsive that is, so I'm like pushing the thought down. But the other day I went to see Don Broco live, and they always do like a fun little pop-up kind of event thing before their show, and they do a different one with every tour. This one was a tattoo pop-up shop. So I went in, saw the flash sheets, and went, I don't know which one I want out of these two. So I got both.
Fair enough.
So I have two new tattoos. So
Fair
I'm
enough.
I'm quite impulsive that way.
Yeah.
What would you get?
Well, I've been thinking about this for a while because I really love music, but I also, if I get something tattooed, I want it to be to like seem deeply philosophical because I just if someone sees it on the street with no context, I don't want them to have any idea what it means. It's just something about the way that I like to present myself is you have no idea, and that's a fun game for me. Um, However, again, I really deeply connect with a lot of lyrics from Luke's work. And so I was actually thinking about getting When Facing the Things We Turn Away From. Um, Number one, because it's deeply philosophical. Number two, it represents all of the solo albums without having to get every single title all the way down your arm. Um, but also, it kind of serves as a reminder of like, don't run from it, like, channel it into your art, which is the meaning of a tattoo that I've wanted for quite a while. And then the other thing I would potentially do is the One Direction and all of their solo work and also in their work as a band have always used a variation of the line "We'll be alright." Um, and so I did consider getting that one as well because again, the band that I grew up listening to, so it means a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, off the back of your comment with the when facing the things we turn away from, that one, and like saying don't run from things, channel it into your art, that I think is just like a really good message. And I think for me, like going into the new year, I always want to be more intentional with like how I create my art and how I post it and what I do about it. So like it's this time of year, right? We're talking about New Year's resolutions. So I've I've kind of set mine to be like small monthly ones. So
Mm.
like January for me is graduate. My graduation is happening in January, so just graduate. And then February it might be read a new book.
Mm.
March it's gonna be follow Five Sauce on tour. April it's gonna be make a like make sure you photograph an arena. Like just little ones throughout the whole year rather than like one really big, intimidating, hard to focus on one by the end of 2026. Then I'm like, oh, I didn't do that. I'm so bummed out. Whereas by the end of 2026, I can go, look at all of these little things that I did.
Yeah. I'm very similar in a way that I've sort of split my year into terms. Not so much school terms because it doesn't fit that exact timeline, but terms. And I've also split it into three, not four. So in the first term, it's graduate and build the Guru Moo. And then in the second term, it's okay, now really focus on your own projects. So whether that's bake something that you are kind of terrified to bake because you might blow up the kitchen, or crochet more than just a little project, crochet a big project. Um, and then in the third one, like in the third term, I'm really prioritizing connection, and also like a bit of travel. So catch up with an artist who's traveling in town, or travel to an artist who's in town over, um, travel to a festival or something. So I'm holding them very loosely, and if I wanted to do more than one goal at the same time, fair enough. But as you said, you don't want to like make this big promise to myself of I will be perfect and here's exactly how. It's more like this is what I'm working towards and I'll see where I end up. So, sort of wrapping up about being creatives and being online for most of your childhood. Um, what was your favorite social media moment or like niche moment that other people may not remember?
I This is gonna show my age. I remember when MySpace launched. I also really remember MSN. I don't know if that was like a worldwide thing or a British thing or what, but MSN was so fun, specifically for like the nudges and the pokes that you could do, and how you could like literally knock on someone's screen with like a little animated. That was fun, and I remember doing that like after school every day. And then um, on the uprising of Don't Talk to Strangers Online. Um, Habbo Hotel, that was a really fun thing that I used to play quite a lot. That was really fun.
Yeah, I was someone who used to play a lot of different games. Like I was devastated when Pet Pet Park stopped being a thing as a kid. Like, I don't even know if anyone would remember that. That's like way back. But it was something that I was absolutely obsessed with, and I loved sort of games where you could play with your friends, jump on. Um, but for me, I was way too online. I had a group of friends who we saw every social media moment. In fact, we actually had a group in high school that was dedicated to meme of the week, which literally was some random internet moment that would then text out to the school or like airdrop to everyone as we were walking past. And for me, I remember on Instagram when the egg was the most liked page. That was a huge day for us. We were like, this is the best thing ever. Or surgery on a grape. That was
Yeah,
that was
I
a good
remember
one.
that.
Yeah.
That is so niche.
Yeah. I like I said, like really, really niche media. I was also very much a kid who grew up on Tumblr, so any random little thing. Cole Sprouse when he would post his cryptic tweets, or one that actually a moment that really made me get into photography, strangely enough, Camera Jules. That Instagram account where he'd take. Have you seen this?
No.
Okay, I after this go and look it up because it's hilarious. So
Okay.
he got so annoyed of people taking photos of him in public that he'd pull his camera out and the goal was he has to snap them first or snap them in the act of trying to sneak a photo of him. There's something hilarious about him just like photo. There's like a lady on a plane who's like that, and he's like in her face. Um,
He's like in their face, like, hello.
yeah. Or there's like behind a plant and everything. It's a reflection on society, but it's also like the photos themselves are really interesting. Um, and at that point, I really loved street photography, so it sort of made me think about um how to be ethical around street photography and it was something that was like a really big consideration when I was doing all of my assessments of like what kind of photography is ethical, what kind of photography, how do I want to portray myself? I don't want to come across like this. Like, I don't want to come across as Colt Sprouse doing these camera jewels, and I don't want to come across as the crazy fan who's like right in your face with a camera without your permission.
Yeah.
So that's another really niche sort of media that I was quite into. Yeah. Well, that has been Real on the Mic for this week. Have a groovy week.